Well, all right. Here we are, kitchen table. Yeah, I'm Pastor Bobby D. Hamilton. This is the kitchen table. We call it this because this is where we break it down, chop it up, and put it back together again. And I'm so glad to have you here today. This month, we're going to be focusing on young and great. I've spent so much time dealing with the adults and our adult related issues. And just for this entire month, I'm going to be dealing with, got some fascinating young people from all around the country who God is used to do some great, great things. So we're going to meet some of them throughout this entire month. And I'm glad to have as our first guest on today at the kitchen table is Alexi White. Alexi, say hello to the kitchen table, please.
Hello.
Now, Alexi, if you would just tell us a little bit about you, dear.
University of Virginia, and I'm majoring in American Studies with a concentration in popular and visual culture, so pretty much media. And once I graduate, I'm kind of interested in maybe doing a career in marketing or in production, which is what I had an internship for recently.
Amen. Lex. So you're in the great state of Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Now, Alexi, you have done something fascinating here lately, and you've gotten tied into PBS. Tell us what's the partnership between you and PBS, and how did you get into this?
Okay, yes. So before the summer started, I wanted to do an internship. And so I applied through a program through my school that was helping students connect with alumni and find internships that way. So we could just try to get more experience in the field. And I was able to get an internship with a lady who graduated and was from UVA and was working on a documentary with PBS American Masters. And so that's kind of how I started working with PBS on this documentary about Kitty O'Neill, who was a daredevil who was also deaf.
Yeah, because you weren't just working on it, you really were taking the lead in this kid. So tell us, just kind of educate us for a minute, if you would, Alexi. Who was Kitty O'Neill?
Yeah, so Kitty O'Neill was a daredevil, a speed racer, and a stunt woman, and she set a lot of land and water speed records. And as a stunt woman, she was also involved in a lot of productions like Blues Brothers and also the TV show Wonder Woman. And for Wonder Woman, she did a stunt where she jumped 127 feet off the top of a building for a stunt for one of the episodes. And she was also deaf, so that was another part of her identity, just kind of navigating the world but not being able to hear.
Wow, so she was a stunt woman, a daredevil, and she was deaf.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So why her? Why did you choose to focus on her?
Yes, so I didn't choose to focus on her, but the people who were involved and kind of created the series decided to focus on her because they wanted to create a series about amazing Americans who also had disabilities. And they started with her first just because they thought that her accomplishments were really amazing and that a lot of people should know more about her.
Wow. So what did you learn about her that made you go, wow?
Just all of the amazing things that she did, like the jumping off the buildings, and then also she set a land speed record, which I believe was like 368 miles an hour. And I just thought, that was just so cool that, and she wasn't afraid of getting hurt or doing anything. She just, wanted to go fast and just be involved in the stunt and speed racing world. I thought that was really cool.
Where did she get that from? How did Kitty O'Neill decide that, hey, I want to jump through fires, jump over buildings? Where did that come from for her? What was her background?
When she was growing up, she wanted to be an Olympic diver, and she started to train to pursue that career and try to be able to get a spot on the Olympic team. But one day she had a really bad dive and broke her wrist and got spinal meningitis. And so after that, she couldn't do diving anymore. So she had to kind of pivot and find a new career. And because, she was already trained in diving and was kind of used to doing things that are a little dangerous, she decided to become a stunt woman and a race car driver.
Wow. So What was it like for you in this partnership and this working relationship with PBS? How did that go for you?
It was really good. I had heard PBS and I watched a few PBS programs before, but didn't really know anyone behind the scenes. So it
Mhm.
was really nice to meet everyone and talk to them. And I even got to give a presentation to some PBS executives on
Yes.
a future social media marketing campaign that I thought of for this project. So it was really good working with them, just kind of getting to know them and the company.
Wow, wow. So Alexi, you got a lot of wheels turning. You got a lot of irons in the fire, and also my understanding is that you're on UVA. They're at UVA, and you're kind of like what they call on a full ride. Everything's being taken
Mhm.
care of for you. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Wow, isn't that great?
Mhm.
you you won't have any college debt because they're taking care of it.
Mhm.
So what's next? What's next for Alexi White?
What's next for me is going to finish this next year, my last year of school. And then after I graduate, I'm thinking about, kind of like I said before, going into maybe a career in marketing or a career in production, which is what I worked on during this internship, because I really enjoyed working with all the people and kind of being able to do behind the scenes work and be able to see the full product and people enjoying it. That's really fulfilling for me. So I might like to do some of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Now you were mentioned earlier about going into the social media field, and that. What would that look like for you? How does that all come together?
That would look like for me, just kind of thinking of maybe campaigns to promote things kind of like this documentary. I thought of some campaigns to promote it, even though they didn't decide not to use them. I think it was a good experience for me to kind of think about how you can try to get people to watch or to engage with something. So that for me, that might look like working for a company and trying to get people to engage and watch something through social media marketing.
Okay, okay. Now, Alexa, help us with this because I've watched PBS and I enjoy PBS. It's a great educational channel and everything. And a lot of you have also watched it. What is the process? Just what you've learned thus far of going from doing a documentary to actually maybe putting it on the silver screen to becoming a movie.
Yes, so what I've learned so far in working with PBS and about that process would have to be just kind of like the first thing is like the uh, thinking of ideas and then hiring people to kind of make sure those ideas come to fruition and kind of from this document kind of making it to the silver screen would probably just be uh, probably contacting more people and in the instance of this documentary maybe making it a little longer. This one was only 9 minutes, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe focusing on some other people or focusing more on Kitty O'Neill's life and just trying to market it to different communities, especially the disabled community, because it gives an opportunity for them to see someone who has a disability like them succeeding and on the silver screen.
Yeah, I think that is a wonderful deal with the disabled community. Because I'm thinking about how do you drive a car and deal with all these explosions and you're deaf?
Mhm.
How does she compensate for her disability?
Well, she was able to read lips really well. Her mom really instilled that in her from when she was a little girl to try to help her be able to um, communicate with the world. And she also had a lot of trusted friends by her, kind of looking out for her and making sure that people weren't trying to take advantage of her.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome, Alexia. Because you have to have some a major trust circle of confidentiality to be able to do what she was doing to pull that off. Wow,
Mhm.
Alexia, I understand that you're also a history buff.
Yes.
Uh, how did you get interested in becoming a history buff?
That's a good question. I just have always really liked learning about the past,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of seeing how things used to be. I like, how things are now, but it's always interesting to kind of see, what worked and what didn't and how life was different before certain things happened. And I just, really like learning about things like that. So I was really excited when I got this internship and got to learn about someone in history that I did not know about before.
hmm Now, you come from a family of educators, your mom and your grandmother and all of that.
Mhm.
Uh, is that in your future?
I'm not sure. I think it might be interesting to be an educator or a teacher, but and I think I have a lot of people in my family, like you said, that have succeeded in those careers. So
Mhm.
I know that I could do it, and I have a lot of people who could help me and show me some tips, show me the way.
Yeah, yeah. So, Lexi, after you complete your undergrad, any aspirations for a master or a doctorate degree, or how far are you going to go with this?
I'm not sure. After I complete my undergrad, I think I'd like to work for a while, and then maybe I'll go back and get another degree.
Okay, okay. And so, what's your ideal location? What's you've already kind of articulated your dream job, but what's your dream location?
I'd say my dream location is someplace that's not too hot, but also not too cold. Maybe I might, decide to stay in Virginia because I know a lot of people there, and the winters aren't too cold. A little cooler in the summer than it is in Texas. It's really hot.
Yeah, don't come to Texas. That's right. That's right. You will melt.
Mhm.
Wow, that is so cool. So you think about perhaps staying there in the Virginia area, because
Mhm.
at least in Virginia you have seasons. You have real
Yes.
seasons. Unlike here, it's just either I said down here in Texas, especially in Houston, either they're gonna burn you up or you're gonna drown. You know, one or two,
Mhm.
because it floods
Yeah.
out here. Yeah, that's one of the. So Lexi, there are people who are watching now, whether they're parents or their grandparents, or there may be people who are your age. Um, and they're trying to say, Lexi, um, I want to take these steps of faith because you actually have taken a step of faith to do really what's in your heart, what God designed you to do, and you're succeeding. You really are. And maybe there's some who want to, but they're a little apprehensive, maybe about leaving home, or maybe about starting a new career, being in a new state, or maybe just that burden, they desire to maybe take a path of lesser resistance. What would you say to that individual?
I'd say to, just trust God, and, God will give you opportunities. And when you get those opportunities, just also just pray about it, and, don't be scared because, wherever you go, God will be with you, and he'll put people and opportunities in your path that will help you grow and learn and just give you new experiences. So just
Man,
not to be afraid.
don't be afraid. Yeah. And speaking of that, Alexi, have you had moments of fear? I mean, you're in UVA, you're about to come out of UVA, you're already connecting with this great organization. You've done this remarkable study on this young lady who we didn't even know about. But along the way, along this journey, has there been moments of fear?
Yes, for sure. Especially when I first went to UVA, because I didn't really know anyone. I was really far from home. So I was a little fearful because, I didn't know what the future would hold.
Mhm.
But I just, kept trusting God, and He gave me so many opportunities. Especially this internship was something that I've been praying for a while, and so, um, but God has
Amen.
been with me through everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how has this internship and the whole UVA experience, how's it impacted you, Lexi?
I think the whole UVA experience and the internship has impacted me for the better, just kind of giving me more confidence to just, go forward and see what I want to do and how I can make that happen. Because, sometimes it's hard to talk to new people or to put yourself out there. But I think just being at UVA, being a little farther from home, and just this internship has, taught me and encouraged me to just uh, talk to someone, just take a leap of faith and talk.
Yeah, take a leap of faith and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Open your mouth and say what's in your heart. Lexi, now, many college students and potential college graduates, sometimes that bridge between dealing with the campus or the college students and dealing with corporate America, that bridge sometimes can be a slippery slope. But as proven with your partnership here with PBS, you were able to scale that bridge. What advice would you give to those who are trying to really make that move and to start interacting with corporate America? Are there any nuggets of remembrance that you would give for those who are trying to make that adjustment?
Yes, one thing I would suggest is just to reach out to others who, there are people who before you have graduated and gone to corporate America, and they probably have some advice. And that's one of the things that really helped me. The alumni who was from UVA, who was in charge of my internship, really gave me a lot of advice and kind of interacting with PBS. So I would say that. And then just also to just always, be yourself. Sometimes, when you go in corporate America, you might see how people act a certain way, and but just need to not astray from what what your values are, and I think you'll succeed.
Wow, that's a good word. Be yourself. That's right. Because if you don't, corporate America has a way of really exploiting you. They'll try to tell you who you are and start working on you. But you say, know who you are. Don't stray from who you were before you got there. And trust God throughout the process. Alexi, I am so excited to hear, and I know that your mom and your grandmom and your siblings are just excited. You're a rock star in the family right now, Alexi. And you're doing a great, great job. I thank you so much, Lexi, because you're young and you're doing great things, and even greater things are to come. And even the part I like the most about it is that I always say that when Christ opens these doors for you, don't leave him on the outside. And he's opened these doors, and you brought him also on the inside with you. So that's to be commended. Appreciate you, Lexi. Kitchen Table, you've heard it from someone that's young and great and doing great things. We even do greater things. And she spoke just from her heart. Lexi, I just thank God for you. Kitchen Table, tell your family, tell your cousins, show it to your children, grandchildren. Not so much to be like Alexi, but to trust the same God of Alexi. If he did it for her, he can certainly do it for you. Kitchen Table, I'm going to see you next week right here at the kitchen table. Be blessed, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Alexi.